but we're 4-10. Okay, did not expect to be that at this point. The offense, which was so prolific last year, is 24th in points scored this year. I don't know what the average is. Is it right around 21, 22 points per game, something like that? They've got 291 points in 14 games. Defense is 26th, 375 points allowed. Special teams is actually kind of the highlight. They're tied for ninth. So we got a top 10 special teams.
We got
a lot
2
of that
touchdowns from
Jalen Lane. With
But
the
I
2
actually think
returns.
the kickoff returns, remember, McCaffrey was doing a pretty good job with the kickoff returns. Debo, when he's had an opportunity, has done a pretty good job with the kickoff returns. So they have pretty good special teams. To your points for, they average 20.8 points per game. So they're not even averaging 3 touchdowns a game this season. I want to ask Jason this. So
That's really bad.
One thing we were talking about yesterday with Jaden Daniels is, all right, what's all said and done, he's played in 7 games. But he didn't finish all of them. He only
played and started and finished 4, I believe.
3.
I think it might actually be 4.
I think it's Finley said it was 4, so I think it might be 4.
Yeah. Either way, half of the time he didn't even finish.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a disaster.
Had you known that before the season, what would your record prediction have been? Because there was a lot of optimism going in. We all had them
probably
at a minimum.
4 or 5 wins.
Yeah.
5-12.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially because of the schedule.
So I get it. It's been a disaster.
And then if you would have told me McLaurin would have been out and Noah Brown, Eckler,
Maybe
I would have probably guessed less.
They've had a good season.
Yeah, right.
It turns out.
Turns out they didn't have their quarterback, didn't have Terry, didn't have all these other guys.
Dietrich Wise, Dorrance Armstrong.
They've actually overachieved. No, I'm not being serious. It's just been a total disaster.
I think it's exposed a lot of holes for sure. And we do know that they need to get younger and faster on defense. I don't think the offense is far away. Like you bring up those stats, and it is depressing when your team isn't even averaging 3 touchdowns a game, but it makes sense given the circumstances.
But and just think about how bad the rest of the league has been, because as bad as Washington is, they're still currently, I believe, in the 8th spot in the draft order.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad some of these teams are.
Well, yeah, the Raiders.
How bad has Washington been? They're not even in the top 5 right now.
Well, look, sadly, outside of the Chargers game, they beat the Raiders, who have 2 wins, who are atrocious, and beat the Giants
2
twice,
wins.
who are atrocious.
Right.
So there are teams worse than Washington.
Oh, yeah.
But it makes some sense when you lose your star quarterback. And was he playing as well as he did last year? No. But
How could he? Couldn't get into a freaking rhythm.
I heard JP mention this yesterday, Finley, in the 4 games which he completed, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Yeah.
You'd take that.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. I heard again
Are we
another
serious?
guy say, what?
I mean,
I like JP, but that's the most cherry-picked tweet I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, it's just showing you that when he played from start to finish, he was fine.
I didn't see a tweet. He just was talking about it.
He tweeted it.
Okay.
Dude, he left out the Seattle game where he looked awful, and he left that game with 2 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean that he's not capable of being bad, Valdez.
I know, but it was a weird thing to do, to just leave out plays that he played in.
I actually don't think that he was awful this year. I think that Jaden was off of last year, but he wasn't awful.
No.
He was up and down, whatever. He went from being like a top 5 or 6 quarterback in the league to the lower 3rd. I get it, but I think he just needed to play more.
I mean that narrative is the most goalpost moving thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I think he's just trying to put some context, and I believe it that if he had played, I don't think he was destined to have a bad season this year. If he had played 15 of 17 games, I think his play would have picked up as the season progressed, and he would have been fine.
His quarterback rating.
He didn't play well.
No,
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I think that because
I don't think he really played well. I don't know why it's like it's this forbidden thing to say.
No, you can say it. I just disagree with it. You say whatever you want.
He didn't play well, but he also didn't play that bad.
He also didn't play horribly.
His
Maybe
passer
Seattle,
rating was better than Trevor Lawrence's is this year. And I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is playing great, but that includes Trevor Lawrence just had a 5-touchdown game. So Jaden was in the territory of Bryce Young. Again, it's not great territory. And Trevor Lawrence and that type of production. And it wasn't like he was throwing a bunch of interceptions like Tua.
But he's throwing incompletions.
Yeah.
He's barely over 60% completion percentage.
Yeah. But he also, look who he had throwing to him. Yeah, guys, literally, they weren't getting open.
I'm sure there were a lot of reasons, but if you look at all the overall stats, you can't just say he played well because he had 7 touchdowns
No
and
one's
1
saying
pick.
he played well.
And by the way, in 4 games that you select that you're going to put stats out for.
No, I'm using the whole season.
I know, but Jason just
think he was
quoted
just-
JP Finley's tweet.
Yeah.
I just think he was inconsistent. He was up and down. He wasn't as good as the year before, but he wasn't horrific.
It's okay. It's okay to think and to say, "Hey, Jaden had a down year this year." It's not what we expected.
He did have a down
But that
year,
doesn't
but it
mean
wasn't
that doesn't mean he
horrific.
stinks.
Yeah,
But
he wasn't horrific.
But it's
He had
okay
a down year,
it's
for
okay
sure.
to cherry pick and project and say, okay, he's had a down year, but take a look at these 4 games. In these 4 games, he had 7 touchdowns and 1 interception, and that could be what you see next year. And I don't think that's unreasonable because of all those circumstances we've talked about, from preseason, not having his guys, not only Terry not being there, but Noah Brown got hurt in camp, and then the play just with all kind of the in and out of the lineup. I think that you could have this level of optimism. You've seen it before.
So why do those plays count, but other plays that he had don't count?
No,
They
they
don't.
do.
I'm
That's
taking
why
the-
I
you
know.
say- No, they do count. That's why you say he had an off year. He had a down year.
I know,
for
but
sure.
to- but
it
to-
wasn't
but to-
as bad as people say.
But to people like JP Finley, when he's trying to put context into it, why do those not count?
He's just
Right?
trying to spin
I
it.
think he's just trying to give you a counter to the argument that he's terrible, that he had a terrible year. Say, okay, you can make that argument. Go ahead. You present your case. The counter to that was in the 4 games that he did finish, he played pretty well.
Look,
And it was just an awful year. He was in and out of the lineup. They shut him down 5 games ago. No consistency, no receivers. They stacked the box against him. They contained him so he couldn't run like he likes to.
You know, but you act like that doesn't happen to every quarterback in the league.
I'm sure it does.
Where a
But-
defense contains them, or an offense may be missing their running back or receiver or lineman in a game.
Our injuries were as bad as any other teams in the league.
You're arguing. We're not disagreeing with you, and there's no reason really to argue. We will stipulate. We stipulate to he wasn't as good this year. I prefaced it all by saying
Not
he
even
wasn't
close.
as good this year.
He wasn't even
You can
as close.
pick a statistic like QBR, for example. Last year, his QBR was 67.7. This year, it's in the 40s, 45.9. That is significantly down. His passer rating, like the old school passer rating, last year was right around 100. This year, it's 88.1. What I would say is, take a look at somebody like Shedeur Sanders. QBR 16.9.
He's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't the world's
nobody
worst.
in the world would take Shedeur Sanders over Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, his production is actually
I don't even
better
think
than
Prime
Joe
would.
Burrow's this year. Joe Burrow, 84.3 passer rating when he's been on the field. Better than Trevor Lawrence, who Trevor Lawrence has a team that's a playoff contender. I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs. A Super Bowl contender, I probably should say. It's hard to buy into Jacksonville, but he just had a 5-touchdown game. His production on the field was as good, if not better, statistically than Trevor Lawrence per game.
What rubs me the wrong way is when why is JP Finley carrying Jaden Daniels' water?
Well, call
I think
JP
he's-
Finley's show.
I don't know. I think he's just trying to give a
Well,
counter. Just give a counter to
I know,
the
but
idea that he was
JP
brutal.
brought it up. JP brought it up on our show like it's gospel.
Because
Well,
what
but
I think it is,
it's
a way to be
data point.
optimistic.
It's a data point.
It's a flawed data point
Okay,
where he
but it's
took
one.
he took 4 games. He basically threw games where he looked bad in the garbage into the
I don't
garbage
think
can.
he did it on purpose. I think he just looked at how did he do in the games where he
Where he's
finished.
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from start to finish. It is what
Well,
it
And
is.
look, I agree more with Matt. I just think he was okay when he was playing these games. He didn't stand out.
I agree. He was okay.
Now, he didn't-
He's not
he
the-
didn't
I-
start
no,
this
he's not.
game.
Yeah, don't
Everyone
get wrong. Yeah,
acknowledges
don't
he was
get
very
wrong.
good
I'm
to
not
start
trying to
the
say
game.
he's the worst quarterback in the league, but when you come into a season and you have the 3rd highest MVP odds and you do what you did last season, what you did this season was disappointing.
100%.
It was. I mean,
100%.
it's
But I
not.
think it's also coming from your perspective that you're kind of backing yourself into the corner of his rookie year will be the best year of his career.
I think that's a very high possibility where
Okay, that's fine.
that could be
But
the
that's where
best
you're-
Jaden
you
you
got to
see.
understand that's where Valdez is coming from. So he's kind of positioning himself as Jaden peaked his rookie year. And so, okay, you may be right.
Yeah.
But that's where his opinion is coming from.
Yeah.
If Jaden was
I
on the
think that
field,
will be true.
And
I think he'll
next year-
throw for more touchdowns. He'll throw for more yards. He'll have a higher, I don't know if he'll have a higher QBR, but he'll have a higher quarterback rating.
When?
In the
You-
future.
you mean next year?
In the future. I don't
Yeah.
know, anytime.
Well,
in the
next
future.
year is a huge year.
It's a massive year. He needs to, the number one thing he needs to do is stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Correct.
That's the number one thing. If he does that, I think his play will take care of itself.
what's your updated over/under on how many games he'll play next year?
What did I say before? 12?
12's pretty mediocre.
Yeah, I mean,
12's
I'm going to
pretty
stick to that.
mediocre.
I'm going to stick to that until he proves me wrong, because I think that he's going to have other issues next year.
If you had to redraft right now the guys who were drafted last year, give me your redraft of the quarterbacks. So obviously Caleb went 1, Jaden went 2, Drake went 3. Then, of course, you have Penix, McCarthy, and Nix.
Well, I would have had Drake 1 last year, too.
Yeah, I understand.
So Drake 1, probably Caleb 2, probably Nix 3, Penix I'm not that into, probably Jaden 4.
Yeah.
Probably
That's
JD,
what Gruden and
probably JD 4.
Olsen had from Barstool.
I mean,
And look, the proof's in the pudding because these other guys are playing. I mean, May, Caleb, and Nix
Right.
haven't missed games.
let's do this again next year.
Yeah.
We'll see what you say.
And maybe it'll change.
Maybe he'll
Yeah.
be 7.
I still think Drake May will be 1.
7. We're going to throw in there Rattler.
I don't know.
But it's hard to have him at 2 when he's played start and finished in 4 games.
I can't argue him at 2, other than I think his talent is
I think
1
he's
or 2.
talented,
I think
yeah.
his talent is 1 or 2.
He's just got to stay out there.
Do you think? All right, can we play the clip number 1, I believe, again, of Jaden talking about being disappointed? Do you think he's being vociferous enough, or he was too accepting of not playing?
It was obviously disappointing. You know, I'm a competitor. I want to play, but I wasn't medically cleared to go, and sat down, talked to DQ and AP, and made the decision.
I think he is making it sound like he's on board with it.
He's been a company man.
Hold on. Here's a slight problem. He says, I wasn't medically cleared. If you're not medically cleared, there's no decision. But then they have a talk, and then there's a decision.
Well, just they're cutting to the chase.
You know my point?
No, I hear you, but I think they're just cutting to the chase.
Like, if he's truly not medically cleared, there is no decision. The coaches always say he's not medically cleared, can't play.
well, they could have waited.
But
He could have
here-
pushed to wait to the end of the week.
Here,
Yeah,
we know it wasn't because of the doctors. We know it.
I agree.
They're playing it safe. He could have been back on the field in the Vikings game.
Yep. If the game's meant something,
Although
he'd be,
he did say, did we play clip 6 where he said on what felt different? And is that where he said adrenaline is a hell of a drug?
we played that.
But he
We
wasn't
can play it
really-
again.
He wasn't really specific though.
I mean, adrenaline is a hell of a drug, so that's a big one. But things change, once stuff settled down.
I don't know. It probably is
So
just
vague.
it's so vague.
He's you know what? He's a company man.
If there's
So
no
the company told him,
yeah.
we're not going to play you. And he's not that type of guy to be vociferous and, like have a T-shirt on the sideline that creates a scene like RG3
No.
did.
No.
So he'll be a company man and just not play.
But it does, and I said this yesterday, and I think Barry kind of alludes to it. Jason alluded to it when we talked earlier. It just sets the stage for next year being massive.
Yeah.
Just massive. And it's not because you have any doubts of his ability, but he's just got to prove that he's going to be available, and he is, in fact, going to be the franchise quarterback of this team.
Yeah.